when we were in Belize for my 30th birthday, I went with a really good friend of mine. It was actually really hard to find vegetables out there. So it was like if you're dining at a restaurant, like you all day long, you could have it. But if we were trying to like save some money by like cooking at our little like hotel or Airbnb spot, and quite literally it would be like one bell pepper, $6 or something. And it would be like shriveled and slightly like poisonous looking, you know? So that is the thing that you have to watch out for, is like learning what places, like when you travel, knowing what places you're better off just going out to eat the whole time versus trying to cook at home. Because Belize ended up being that way. It was more expensive to cook at home than it was to actually just like any restaurant you went to was like $20 for a lot of food, versus, like I said, you'd be like, I would like a bell pepper. Here's $6. So yeah, that was super interesting.
If I'm going somewhere like a different country, I'm probably not gonna cook, right? Like, because I want to experience the culture and the cuisine of the country. So, and then I'm like, well, if I cook everything, now of course, like if you want to cook, but if I cook everything, I'm not getting a full experience. So, yeah, I'd rather just like eat at restaurants or go to local places and eat. Like that way, I get the full experience.
Now that you can't tolerate dairy, does that change your answer though? Like, would you still, especially if you went to somewhere like Mexico or like somewhere that's a lot of cheese and milk, would you just like choose it? What was that answer?
Here's the thing about that is, I don't know if this is true or not, but I think the food in America is different than the food abroad, because I've gone. Like, okay, so I've just now found out that I like can't really do dairy, so I haven't traveled yet. But when I was in Spain and Portugal, I ate hella dairy all day long. I was eating cheese. That's all they eat is cheese and wine. Like, that's it. They live on cheese, bread, and wine. Like, they don't eat anything else. Like, so if you don't eat that, you're gonna starve. But I ate lots of cheese when I was over in Europe, and I didn't have any problems, like none. Come back to America and I start, obviously eating dairy again, and I feel terrible. And I have had this experience not only in Europe, but I've had this experience in Mexico and Colombia.
Interesting.
I don't know what it is about the stuff that we have in, like, they're putting something in our cows, because whenever I come back home, that's when I have problems. And I don't know, maybe it's just a different environment. I don't know. But that being said, if I'm going to Egypt, I am going to be a little bit careful about what I eat. I mean, it's not super hard to eat dairy-free meat and vegetables, because that's what I'm probably going to choose for the most part anyways. But, if I want to try something, it's not going to kill me. I may have to take a little bit of like, a little bit of medicines to help my stomach, make my tummy not, hate myself. So
changing your Instagram handle to Dairy Daddy.
Dairy-free daddy. That's right.
Dairy-free daddy. No, it's super interesting too, because I guess being like fun-free, for those that don't know, I'm gluten-free, dairy-free, aka fun-free. So it's like, for me personally, travel, where I go has to be dictated partially based off of that. Because it's like, can you imagine, again, if I tried to go to somewhere like Europe, or I tried to go somewhere like Mexico, and you'd be like, everything is flour tortillas, or, it's like, thankfully corn tortillas are usually easy to come by, but so many foods, the cheese like makes the dish. Right. Same thing, it's like, obviously Europe is so heavy on, bread and cheese and stuff. So it's just like, those just wouldn't be fun places to go to for me, because it would be so much anxiety about like, oh, can I do this? Can I not? But same thing. It's like, especially if you're going somewhere like even Japan, I would have a little bit of hesitation, because so much sushi, or so many sauces will be like teriyaki and soy sauce, and then there'll be, like hidden wheat and stuff. And so it does add an extra layer, because I'm actually the opposite. I would rather mostly cook in to save money, but then I would rather take that money and then spend it on experiences and doing stuff while I'm in the country. So in Belize, for example, we did jet surfing, which was basically, you had a motocross engine that was almost in a surfboard, and I think it would go up to 39 miles per hour. And so basically you would have on a life vest, and you would take the pin, stick it in the engine, and you basically had 10 seconds to like flail your body on top of the jet surfboard before it would just like take off. And so you're going, and if at any point you hit that trigger with your finger, you're going to fly off like Super Mario, just like, and so I did lessons. And so the first hour lesson was just like eating shit in the water and just, like stop, start. And then the second hour, once you have it figured out, was super fun. But it's like, it was like the lessons were a couple $100s per hour, but it was literally the best money I spent that entire time. So it's like, I'm a big fan of, I want to figure out what the cool things to do there are. And then I also want to figure out like, what are the cool places, or like, what is this place known for? So it's like my big thing actually, before I knew that I couldn't really hang with gluten, was I used to do a lot of donuts. So like, let's say I came to California, it's like, well, I would go to California Donuts, and like, I would make like this 3-hour trip to like secure the donuts and like Instagram them. And California Donuts, it's actually located like right outside Hollywood, but their big thing is that all of their donuts, they have like these panda shaped ones, or they're just they're really cute and really Instagrammable. So I always used to look for stuff like that whenever I would travel. So like Thrillist is a big website I live and die by if I'm looking for like restaurants, things to do, because people will write little blogs or just like, hey, go here, don't go here, it's not worth the hype. So it's like, my advice, no matter where you go and travel, is figure out like what you're going to do with your food in terms of, do you want to save money? Do you want to cook in? Do you want to get like an Airbnb or hotel? Or reversely, do you want to go out to eat a bunch? But like I said, it just depends, because when we were in Belize, we ended up dining out. It was usually $20 to $30 per meal. I think we went for like 5 days. And so we could just get a giant plate of like seafood, and it would either be fish, shrimp, lobster, any sort of thing. So we would do that. We would get tons of vegetables, rice. Very similar to Costa Rica, their big thing was you could get these almost like little rotisserie chickens. So it was their dish was quite literally anywhere you went, including even these little, they were almost like 7-Eleven gas stations, but it was like you could get chicken, you could get rice, you could get vegetable and beans, and it would literally be like $5 American, which their money is actually animals. And so we didn't know what the money was called, but like I was with, seminar staff. And so we would all be in the grocery stores or the restaurants, and we would just be yelling like whatever money it was that we needed. So it'd be like, hey, I got a Sharknado. Can you give me a monkey dollar? And I'm sure like these people are just like, what? But that was like, I still actually kept one of them. I have one of the Sharknados, aka I think it's like the $2 colones has like sharks on it. But yeah, like all the money,
like Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Literally, but like the money was so cool. And then you're like, man, America's so boring.